Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been yapping around for about 4 months about a new club forming in parallel with the old club led by the club master, which is the United States of America. And the other club, so the original club, the old club, is organized as follows. Is the master, the big master, which is the United States of America. Then you got the house servant, which would be Great Britain. And then it's going to be the bottom feeders. It's going to be the states that are the plantation slaves that are outside over there, and they're cutting the sugar cane. So some countries from the plantation, they try to come into the house and be servants, house servants. And those usually are the French. We really want to. Sometimes they succeed, but then they are sent back in the fields and on the plantation. And sometimes Italy tries, and sometimes rarely Germany. Germany has no chance, as it's stigmatized forever. You know why? So therefore, it's done. So that's how that works. And the United States is a boss, and threats and blackmail. That's how they operate. Now the new club is in a formation status. It's forming right now, and it's the main guys are China and Russia and probably India. It's going to be composed based on the foundation of BRICS countries and the frustrated countries with the big club, and people who said, okay, I'm going to go from that master, I'm going to go to this one because this one might be a little bit better. And it seems like it will be. It's always like this for a while, and then they the cycle. So we have here a little problem, because you see these countries from the second club, they have a big economy. I'm talking about China, and India has emerging economy, and it's what you have half of the global population if you look at those two, almost these two countries. And I'm talking about BRICS. You have Brazil, you have South Africa, and then they have nuclear weapons. They have they have big potential, and not only potential. So if you look at it like this, they also have resources, big resources. Russia. Now you have Iran that tries to be in the club. You have Venezuela trying to be in the club. You have Argentina, and you say, oh, these are just bottom feeders. Might be, but they are moving towards this club, and they will not be pushed around probably by the other club anymore. And the thing is, we got the OPEC, the countries with the oil. They have the little cartel over there that they decide the price, and they arrange things on the global market. Output and the prices are depending on how much output they put on the market, and how much they extract, and so on. So we have now Iran and Russia. They try to form their own gas cartel. Well, if they succeed in doing that, and probably they're going to get some other little countries that have a lot of gas, then the big club, which the only really, if you look at the resources of the big club, come from the United States of America. The rest are depleted. Take Germany, take Great Britain, take France, Italy. They have no resources. They need resources. That's why the European Union, and they fight for Ukraine. Ukraine has food, grain. Without grain, what is Europe going to do? They have Romania. Okay, all right. But other than that, so they need Ukraine for multiple reasons, for strategic reasons, not only for military, reasons. Then we get to this article to see what these guys are going to do, Iran and Russia. This article comes from oilprice.com from August 23rd, 2022. Iran and Russia move to create a global natural gas cartel. I told you, again, for the past 4 or 5 months, that these guys are going to probably soon resign or sign off from the organization, global organizations of maritime regulations, insurance companies, banking systems, and they will form their own, because they are mistreated by these guys in a way that you do what we tell you to do, or we're going to sanction you. It's like a teacher with a student, and unfortunately for the teacher, the self-appointed teacher, These are not students. These are teachers themselves. So you talk about India, you talk about China, you talk about Russia, and this teacher actually can punch you in the face, punch in the face the old teacher, these students so-called. So the US $40 billion memorandum of understanding signed last month between Gazprom and the national Iranian oil company is a stepping stone to enabling Russia and Iran to implement their long-held plan to be the core participants in a global cartel for gas suppliers in the same mold as the Organization of Petroleum Exports Countries, OPEC, for oil suppliers. With a foundation in the current Gulf Exporting Countries Forum, GECF, this gas OPEC would allow for the coordination of an extraordinary proportion of the world's gas reserves and control over gas prices in the coming years. So basically Europe, and not only Europe, needs gas and is going to get what, liquefied natural gas from United States mainly, and some other little dudes, but the rest will be covered by these guys. Occupying the number 1 and number 2 positions in the world's largest gas reserves table respectively, Russia and just under 48 trillion cubic meters, and Iran with nearly 34 trillion cubic meters. The two countries are in ideal position to do this. So number 1 and number 2, they are poop and peep, whatever they are, right there, and they can do a lot of damage. The Russia-Iran alliance, as evidenced in the most recent multi-faced MOU between Gazprom and IOC, the understanding between the Iranian and the Russian gas companies, want to control as much as the two key elements in the global supply matrix: gas supplied over land via pipeline and gas supplied via ships in liquefied natural gas as possible. According to a statement last week from Hamid Hosseini, chairman of the Iran Oil, Gas and Petrochemical Products Exports Union in Tehran, after the Gazprom and the other guys had been signed the documents, and I'm quoting, this is that guy said, "Now the Russians have come to the conclusion that the consumption of gas in the world will increase, and the tendency towards consumption of liquefied natural gas has increased, and they alone are not able to meet the world's demand. So there is no room left for gas competition between Russia and Iran." He added, the winner of the Russia-Ukraine war is the United States. Yeah, really? And it will capture the European market. So if Iran and Russia can reduce the influence of the United States in the oil gas products markets by working together, it will benefit both countries. Yeah, so it's obviously, as I said, the Americans were able to kick the Russian gas, natural gas out of Europe, and they came as the Superman with a cape, saving the Europeans contra cost and more expensive than the Russian gas. So good job, Europe. So what can you do? You're a bottom feeder. You're gonna do what your boss says. So how do you call it? The master got its way again with its little bottom feeders in Europe. So it's gonna be, as I said, a little fight between this little gas club versus the other gas club that is going to probably emerge, because they will not stay neutral. It will going to be a response from the other side, which they've been coordinated anyway, because that's the way it works. The Western countries, they have NATO, and NATO works as a police force to enforce their demands on other countries. So let's say you have a big multinational company located in, let's say, in France, and or Germany or United States or Great Britain or Italy, the big ones, and let's say they want they want to do something, invest in, let's say, in Rhodesia, let's call it that way, and they want to go in Rhodesia. All right, so they want to Rhodesia or whatever, Zimbabwe or whatever you want to call it. Let's go to something else. Let's go Nicaragua. And Nicaragua is on the other club. They want to invest in Nicaragua. So what are they going to do in Nicaragua? they tell the Nicaraguan government to provide the proper business-oriented environment, which means give us perks and allow us to go and take over the market. Now, if they don't do it, they're gonna find some violations, in human rights or this and that and this and that, and then probably they're gonna find something else, and they're gonna have NATO intervene over there as peacekeeping force due to some unrest in the country. And then when they do that, they change the regime somehow. They make someone that's going to say, yeah, come over, and they're going to come over there through NATO and all that. This happened before, or they don't even have to get there, because paying bribes will work as well. And that's the first option if they don't do it by threats. There's the threats, then is the bribes, then is again the threats, and then is the intervention behind the scenes. And then you don't have to come militarily. That's why you have a CIA and other this kind of services. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.